So today we are going to end this topic, that is sites of tubular reabsorption. It took 3 lectures, but finally it's going to end. So though renal physiology have 2-3 lectures left. Okay, so today I'm making this video to let you all know that from today onwards I'm going to start one more thing, that I will ask a question in the end or in the middle of the video, and if you guys really watched my video, then please answer it on the comment section so that I can know that am I understandable to all of you. So if you like my content, then please do like, share and subscribe, and do watch it with full concentration. Thanks. So now we are going to continue the previous topic, that was site of tubular reabsorption. In this lecture we are going to study the more important substances which are reabsorbed and the mechanism through which they are reabsorbed. So there are 4 important substances we are going to study about. First is sodium, second is water, third is glucose, and fourth is bicarbonate. First we will study about reabsorption of sodium. So reabsorption of sodium, 99% of sodium from the glomerular filtrate gets reabsorbed in the PCT, and rest gets reabsorbed in the collecting duct and DCT and ascending loop of Henle, but not through the descending limb. Okay, so reabsorption of sodium occur in early proximal tubule and late proximal tubule. In early proximal tubule, the reabsorption occurs with the symport, with glucose and amino acid. This is the symport, sodium and glucose, and here सोडियम एंड अमीनो एसिड. ये सिम्पोर्ट में क्या होता है, दोनों एक साथ रीअब्सॉर्ब होते हैं. सो ये ल्यूमेन है ट्यूब्यूल का, ये वॉल है, ये सेल्स है. सो ये दोनों एक साथ सिम्पोर्ट के थ्रू रीअब्सॉर्ब होंगे. ओके, सो और लेट पीसीटी में रीअब्सॉर्प्शन अकर्स विद द एंटीपोड. In this, exchange of hydrogen ion takes place with the sodium. So hydrogen ion बाहर गया, sodium अंदर आया, hydrogen ion बाहर गया, sodium अंदर आया. This is the antipode system. Now reabsorption of water. Reabsorption of water occurs in proximal and distal converted tubules and collecting duct. So reabsorption of water from proximal converted tubule is the obligatory water reabsorption. Why it is obligatory water reabsorption? So obligatory water reabsorption is a type of water reabsorption in which is secondary to the sodium symport. So sodium symport हुआ और उसके secondary में क्योंकि sodium symport हुआ तो osmotic pressure, osmotic gradient में changes आएंगे, therefore water का reabsorption हो रहा है. So it occurs secondary to the sodium symport. Water reabsorption occurs secondary to the sodium symport. Therefore, it is called as obligatory reabsorption in the PCT. Now, when the sodium is reabsorbed from the tubule, the osmotic pressure decreases. It causes osmosis of the water from the renal tubule. So here osmotic pressure decreases, here increases due to sodium symport, and water gets reabsorbed from lumen to here. Now reabsorption of water from distal converted tubule and collecting duct. How it occurs? So in distal converted tubule and in collecting duct, facultative reabsorption occurs. Okay, so facultative reabsorption is a type of water reabsorption in the DCT and collecting duct that occurs by the activity of ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. So anti-diuretic hormone की वजह से ये absorption होता है. The distal converted tubule and the collecting duct are not permeable to water, but in the presence of ADH, it gets permeable to the water. Okay, now mechanism of the action of ADH. Now we are going to study the mechanism of action of ADH. So what happens when ADH combines with E2 receptor of the tubular epithelial membrane and activates adenylyl cyclase to form cyclic AMP. This gets activated, V2 receptors get activated when it combines with ADH. And what happens? Cyclic AMP is generated. This cyclic AMP increases the permeability of the tubule for the water. What it does? It increases the permeability of the tubule for the water. And how it activates, how it increases the permeability of tubule for the water. It activates the aquaporine, which forms the water channel. What it does? It activates the aquaporine and it forms the water channel. What is aquaporine? So, ये तो क्वेश्चन आएगा ही. Aquaporine are the membrane protein which functions as a water channel. What is aquaporine? It is a membrane protein which functions as a water channel. So, when ADH combines with V2, it forms a cyclic AMP, which in turn activates aquaporine and which function as a water channel, and this increases the reabsorption of water in DCT and collecting tubules, in collecting ducts. Now, reabsorption of glucose. How glucose gets reabsorbed? Glucose is completely reabsorbed in the proximal converted tubule. Here, it is completely reabsorbed here. It is transported by the secondary active transport, that is sodium co-transport mechanism, which we studied with sodium. Okay, so it transports through sodium glucose symport, that is sodium co-transport mechanism. Sodium and glucose bind to a common carrier in the lumen membrane of the tubular epithelial and then they enter the cell. The carrier protein is called as, what is carrier protein called as? It is called as sodium dependent glucose transporter 2. It is called as sodium dependent glucose transporter 2. See, here it is PCT. This is the carrier protein in which glucose and sodium combines, and this is sodium dependent glucose transporter 2, and this carries sodium and glucose into the cell, and from the tubular cell glucose is transported into the medullary interstitium by another carrier protein. And what is this carrier protein known as? It is known as glucose transporter 2, that is GLUT2. सो यहाँ से ग्लूकोज और सोडियम आया, ठीक है, ये सेल्स के अंदर एंटर किया. उसके बाद जो ये ग्लूकोज है वो GLUT प्रोटीन के थ्रू इंटरस्टिशियम में जाता है, मेड्यूलरी इंटरस्टिशियम में जाता है. वेयरएज सोडियम विद द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ATP पोटेशियम आयन के साथ एक्सचेंज होता है. सोडियम बाहर जाता है, पोटेशियम आयन अंदर आता है. दिस इज द मैकेनिज्म. ओके, नाउ रीअब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ बाइकार्बोनेट. Bicarbonate is reabsorbed actively, mostly in proximal tubule. So bicarbonate is reabsorbed actively mostly in proximal tubule. It is reabsorbed in the form of carbon dioxide. Bicarbonate is mostly present as sodium bicarbonate in the filtrate. This is the filtrate. This is lumen, this is cell, and this is capillary. Here in the filtrate, bicarbonate is present as sodium bicarbonate, usually as sodium bicarbonate. So what happens first? The sodium bicarbonate dissociates into sodium and bicarbonate, and then the sodium diffuses into the tubular cell in exchange with hydrogen. Like we studied before, sodium hydrogen antipode. Through sodium hydrogen antipode, sodium gets exchanged with hydrogen. Now this bicarbonates combine with hydrogen and forms carbonic acid. And in the presence of carbonic acid anhydrase, this carbonic acid dissociates into water and carbon dioxide. What happens? Here, the hydrogen and bicarbonate combines to form carbonic acid, and in presence of carbonic anhydrase, it dissociates into water and carbon dioxide. Now, this carbon dioxide and water enters the tubular cell. They both enter the tubular cell. And here, in the tubular cell, this carbon dioxide combines with water again and forms carbonic acid. It immediately dissociates then into hydrogen and bicarbonate. So here carbon dioxide and water enters the cell, they combine again, form carbonic acid, then dissociate into hydrogen and bicarbonate. What happens here? Can you see? Bicarbonate was here, now it's in the cell. So reabsorption of bicarbonate is occurring. Now this bicarbonate with sodium gets out into the peritubular capillaries and interstitium through sodium bicarbonate symport. And this sodium also gets exchanged with the potassium ion. This is how these four important substances are reabsorbed. So, the question from the lecture is, what is the function of carbonic anhydrase? Give answer in the comment section.